Welcome back to the deep dive. So I think if you're listening to this, you've probably felt it, that universal wave of dread,
Oh,
the
absolutely.
self-introduction. You step into a room, a conference, a new class, and someone asks, "So what's your name?" And your mind just goes blank.
That feeling is, it's completely understandable. It's such a moment of high social exposure.
Hmm.
But what we found in the source material, specifically essential English conversation, is, well, a revelation.
Okay.
The anxiety, it doesn't really come from a lack of ability. It comes from a lack of a reliable structure. So our mission today is to analyze their step-by-step blueprint.
And show you exactly how to turn that nervousness into, well, what they call perfect rhythm.
Exactly. We're not just listing words, we're building a cognitive shield, a framework that lets you focus on connecting, not calculating.
We want to get you past that awkward silence and into a confident exchange.
So let's dive deep into the sequencing.
Okay, let's start at the absolute bedrock. Section 1, the foundational 3. We often just skip right over this, but the source really stresses how crucial that first syllable is. Just the basic greeting.
Yeah. Hello, hi,
Good morning.
things like that.
But the truly insightful part here isn't what the greeting is. It's the psychological impact of just getting it out.
Hmm.
The material shows that just breaking that fear barrier, just making that first sound, is a huge win. One of the learners in the practice dialogue even said that having the structure to say, "Hello, my name is," it made them feel nice to say that.
That's fascinating. So it's like a little dose of exposure therapy. You're
Yeah.
reframing the anxiety. The first few words aren't a performance.
They're an unlocking mechanism.
Exactly. And that mechanism leads right into the next part of the foundation. First, stating your name, my name is. And second, asking theirs. What's your name?
And here is where a lot of introductions just stall out or feel incomplete. There's a crucial third step that people often forget.
The closing of the loop. Yes. That mandatory phrase, nice to meet you, and then waiting for the nice to meet you too, it's this social cue. It ensures you both acknowledge the meeting
Right. If you skip that, it feels really transactional, like you're just checking boxes.
instead of relational.
That is a great point. The difference between delivering data and starting a relationship. But, okay, we can't stop there. Once that bedrock is laid, we move to section 2, defining identity.
Correct. Moving from just recognizing each other to understanding context. And the next piece, the one that gives immediate context, is stating your origin. The structure is so clean. I am from country.
Okay, but let's pause on that because this is where the deep dive really comes in. I mean, is stating your country always necessary, especially if you're, local? Or is it more of a conversational hook?
That's a fantastic question. And for the learner, it's key. Now, in casual local settings, maybe not. But the source material is really focused on English for international contexts.
Ah,
So origin becomes a prime identity marker. The examples they use, the Philippines, Mexico, Canada, Thailand, that shows the universality of it.
Hmm.
It immediately gives the listener context for your background, maybe even your accent. It's a gesture of transparency.
I see. So it kind of sets the stage for communication. Okay, so from origin, we shift to vocation, what you do.
Yeah, this gives context to your daily routine, why you might even be in that room. And again, the source provides these really clear, adaptable structures.
Right, like if you're a student.
Exactly. You'd say, I am a student or I am a teacher. Simple.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're working, they recommend, I work as O, followed by your profession.
I work as a mechanic, a chef, a nurse.
That little phrase, I work as O, it grounds your job in a role. It's concise. It avoids jargon.
Okay, so if we were just following a manual, we'd stop. Name, country, job. Done.
Yeah.
But the source material, it also addresses that elephant in the room.
Age.
The thing that makes so many learners stumble.
And this brings up such an important point about cultural flexibility. In many languages, providing your age is standard, almost required. But the material explicitly flags the phrase, I am years old, as optional.
Totally optional. Why do you think that is? Is it just privacy?
It's a mix of privacy and social sensitivity. In a lot of Western contexts, volunteering your age right away could feel a little intrusive, maybe even impolite.
Right.
By marking it optional, the source is giving you permission to adapt to different social norms. It lowers your cognitive load. If you're uncomfortable, you just skip it. And the conversation actually flows better because you didn't force an awkward moment.
That is a huge relief for any new speaker, just knowing you have an out. Okay, so now we have the facts. Name, origin, vocation. But frankly, if we stopped here, we'd sound like we're giving a statement to customs.
Exactly. It's so sterile. You have to humanize the exchange. And that brings us to section 3, building rapport.
We need to add personality. And the source suggests the best way to do that is through hobbies.
Yes. This is the pivot. Introducing hobbies is where you shift from a transactional exchange to a real relational connection.
It gives the other person an in, something to connect with outside of your job or where you're from.
And the examples are so straightforward. I like music, I enjoy cooking, I love playing football.
What stands out to me in the practice dialogues is the spontaneity this step unlocks. I remember this one moment where a speaker just realized mid-sentence, oh, I love cooking, actually.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a script. It was this little moment of genuine self-discovery, and that enthusiasm is what makes the whole thing feel friendly and memorable.
And that spontaneity is exactly what the structure is designed to do. Once you're not worried about the core grammar,
Yeah.
your personality can actually shine through.
And hobbies are universal. You say, I love playing football, and suddenly you might find 3 other people in the room who feel the same way. The ice is permanently broken.
Which leads directly to that final layer.
Yeah.
Expressing feelings or intentions. This is the polish. This is what makes the introduction sound polite and engage.
Right. This is how you get that perfect rhythm they talk about in the practice sessions. Instead of just stopping after, I enjoy cooking, what?
You close with a warm signal of your intent. The source suggests phrases that fit the context, like, I'm happy to be here.
Or I'm excited to learn English.
Exactly. You're confirming your presence and your positive intent. You're not just ending the introduction, you're signaling that you're open to continuing the conversation.
It prevents that super awkward moment where the other person doesn't know if they should say something else or just walk away.
Precisely. And once those personal touches are added, the speakers in the source material immediately start saying the conversation sounds very natural, even with some grammar mistakes. Which brings us to section 4, confidence and application.
Okay, let's tackle the biggest fear for any learner. Mistakes. Grammatical errors. We've given you this beautiful 6-step structure, but what happens when you mess up the word order?
This is so important. The source material offers, well, just some vital reassurance here. The fundamental insight is that confidence, your confidence, matters so much more than some minor mistake.
Communication is functional first.
Absolutely. They use this great example of a common error, saying, I am from Thailand country.
Mm-hmm. Technically wrong.
Technically incorrect, but the point is, people still understand you perfectly. The meaning gets through.
That's the key difference between academic perfection and real-world communication. As a learner, you just have to accept that people will understand you, and those small errors are just part of the journey. Perfection is the enemy of connection here.
And that leads to the next part of application. An introduction is never a monologue.
It's a dialogue, a full conversation.
So the source stresses that you must practice asking the questions just as much as you practice answering them.
Right. If you've just delivered this whole blueprint, you have to be ready to flip the script immediately. So based on the dialogue, you should be ready to ask, what is your name?
Where are you from?
And using that rapport section, what do you like to do?
Mastering that side of it, the asking, is what completes the interaction. But here's where we need to add a layer of complexity.
Okay.
You have this 6-step framework, but you're probably not going to use all 6 steps in the same order every single time. You have to be tactical.
That's a necessary adjustment. Like if I'm at a quick professional network event, maybe the hobby part gets dropped entirely. Did the source give us any tactical advice on adapting these steps?
Well, the practice dialogues implicitly teach situational editing. If you're meeting your new boss, leading with, I love playing football, before you say, I work as a project manager, might feel off.
Awkward. Yeah.
You have to prioritize the information that's most relevant to that specific social contract. In a formal business context, name, origin, vocation, those are non-negotiables. The hobbies and feelings are the flexible parts you adjust based on the atmosphere.
So it's teaching you how to be an editor of your own script in real time.
And the confidence comes from knowing you have the full script in your back pocket, even if you only use 3 or 4 steps.
And we see the payoff immediately in the material. The learners using this structure, they reported a real change, saying things like, I feel like I'm improving.
And crucially, their partner would validate it instantly, saying, you sound more confident already. It's a measurable result. This blueprint goes beyond just language practice.
It's a lesson in presenting yourself intentionally. So, okay, what does this all mean for you, the listener, as you step into your next situation? Let's distill this into a clear, actionable sequence you can memorize.
Okay, so we've synthesized all the advice from the source into really the definitive 6-step framework to make your next